I was so sick of being alone and going to weddings by myself.
I couldn't figure out why I was successful at everything else in my life but couldn't find love.
I was thoroughly convinced my picker was broken because I chose the wrong men over and over and over again.
I was so embarrassed that I wasn't married that I buried myself in my work and pretended I was happy.
If this sounds familiar, you're in the right place.
Welcome to Love Notes, bringing the art of lasting love to a world of modern women. I'm Tricia Bennett, aka The Shrink.
And I'm Heidi Bertram, otherwise known as Love Bucket.
This program is designed to support you to live your best life. We will share the secrets to finding and keeping lasting love and living your dreams. Our purpose is to inspire you to love your life and move the world. Are you ready to live your dreams? Will you do what it takes?
We'll see. This show is a place for women to come together and to receive from, inspire, and renew one another. And we will offer you many opportunities to do that each time we come together. We like to think of the Love Notes journey as an internal self-care spa that's designed specifically, guess for who, just for you. So welcome.
We begin each program with a reading that reflects why Heidi and I are sitting here today and who women are for us, who you are and all women are for us. The reading is called The Goddess Within.
And I love it, and it goes like this. When a woman has owned her passionate nature, her thoughts grow wild and fierce and beautiful. Her juices flow. She has thrown off crutch and compromise. She has glimpsed the enchanted kingdom, the vast and magical realm of the goddess within her. Here all things are transformed, and there is a purpose to this, that the world might be mothered back to a glorious state. When a woman conceives her true self, a miracle occurs and life around her begins again. And that's from Marianne Williamson's book, A Woman's Worth.
Thanks, Heidi. Our motto here at Love Notes is, a dream without an action plan is just a nice idea. And we invite you to take our motto on for yourself. You'll hear us saying it a lot because we believe this saying that staying in action is the best way to achieve your dreams. If you're a note taker, you may want to have a notepad and pen or a laptop.
We will also be discussing one of the many secrets, or love notes, as we like to call them, that we have received over the past 20 years that are guaranteed to move you closer to your dreams.
Today's topic is Love Promotion Guaranteed. And the love note is, business and academic success do not always translate into romantic success. Never forget for 1 minute that this is a job. So Heidi and I were discussing, why is it that so many women today have been successful at work, with their academic careers, in sports? Women have been successful and are successful in so many areas of their lives, and they keep saying to us, why is it that love and romance is the only area of my life that isn't working? And what we've discovered is that there's a real reason that women succeed at work and in school and with sports, and it's because they have a structure. And our culture is set up for a structure of success. And what's missing, what's been fading in our culture today, is a structure for success in relationship. So we're going to talk a little bit about what helps us be successful at work and in our academic life, and translate that for you into a plan, an action plan for being successful in love. So I'm going to read down the list of action steps, points of discussion. So in work and academic life, we have bosses, teachers, and coaches. We have teachers, and we're able to be students. We have written cues for success. We have accountability partners at work and in school. We have performance reviews. We take risks, and we are rewarded for those risks. We put time in to work, to academics. And we have structures and discipline. So I'm going to turn it over to Heidi, and she's going to talk about her experience with these things and what they actually mean in the corporate world.
Thanks, Trish. The first point of discussion, as Tricia mentioned, is bosses, teachers, and coaches, and being willing to be a student. And why that's important, and why that has been important for me as a corporate executive and also as an athlete, was because I had to be a student. I had to surrender to the wisdom of these people who had already had and succeeded in the areas that I was aspiring to be. So I had to be the sponge and just absorb all of their knowledge. And when I did and allowed myself to do that, I was able to go up the corporate ladder, as well as I was able to be a really great athlete.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think that most of you can relate to having had teachers or bosses or mentors that moved you forward in the areas where you wanted to succeed. So when it comes to being a student and finding a teacher in terms of improving your love life and living your dreams, the masters are people who have what you want. They're not your boss and they're not your coach on the tennis court. They're happily, successfully married women who are living the life that you want to be living. And if they have a balance with a career, that's wonderful. So look at the people that have taught you and mentored you in other areas of your life and how that's helped you to become successful. And start looking for women who have what you want in the area of love and manifesting dreams.
Great, Trish. Good advice. The second item is written cues for success. In the business world, it was really basically pretty easy because there were job descriptions. There was a clear outline of what my expectations were, what I was going to be measured on, and as well as on the tennis court, my coach would give us a schedule for, here's the practice schedule, here's how many tennis balls I needed to hit in order to have a fantastic forehand. So there are written cues for success. There's guidebooks, there's guidelines, and with the job description in my corporate career, I knew exactly what I needed to do to achieve that particular outcome for that job. And on the tennis court, I knew exactly what I needed to do because the coach would give me a training schedule, as well as she'd tell me which particular tournaments to enter. So there was a structure.
That's great. And in terms of written cues for success in pursuing love and pursuing your dreams, the written cues are going to come from your heart for yourself. Written cues are your goals, the goals that you want for life and in love. And you also, it's, the job description for your life, for your romantic relationship. And when you find a mentor or a number of mentors to help you, the happily, successfully married women, you may also ask them for homework, for a to-do list, and they may give you written lists of things that they want you to do to move you in the direction of your dreams.
Great one, Trish. And I think the next one, the accountability partners, this is essential, because you may have a written job description and you may be off track or on track. You may be following through on that job description and nailing each of the tasks, or you may be missing the mark. But having an accountability partner, having a person such as your boss who would basically let me know whether or not I was on task or not, I was accountable to somebody to share with them what I had achieved. And as well as on the tennis court, for example, I had a coach, and she would be tracking whether or not I worked out for the 3 hours as the schedule or the training schedule had indicated. So I always recommend, if you're in the academic world as well as trying to achieve something, striving to become the best athlete, have that accountability partner, have somebody that you have to report into on your successes.
Yeah.
And sometimes your failures as well. Because when you needed an extra hand,
Yeah.
you needed to report in as well to say, I missed the
stuck.
mark, I'm stuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck, I need help. So in terms of finding love and pursuing your dreams, again, accountability partners are so important, especially for women. Women are such caregivers. We tend to take care of everyone else before we take care of ourselves. And the most important reason that I have accountability partners in my life is so that I won't quit on myself. So, we have found time and time again that when we leave women to their own devices, they quit. So we really strongly suggest that you find some other women that are in the same place in life that you are, successful in other areas and looking for love, and ask them to partner with you. Be accountable to them and accountable to yourself. Have a weekly call together, get together for coffee. Make sure that you're committed and that you have goals and you commit to each other with dates by when you're going to have certain things done. You're guaranteed for success when you have partners.
Terrific. And the fourth point that Tricia had mentioned earlier, performance reviews. What's great is, and I don't know if this was great for you, but I had bosses who would give me a performance review after 6 months, sometimes 9 months, sometimes after a year. And I would get 360 feedback as to whether or not I was on track or whether or not I was missing the mark. But what they would tell me or share with me is they would share my strengths as well as my weaknesses. And it's always fun to hear your strengths, but when they share with you what your weaknesses are, oh boy. And I bet you can't imagine what one of my weaknesses was. At one point, one of my bosses said, Heidi, you need to have economy with words. You need to be crisp and succinct. And having that performance review changed my life because I started to think about being crisp, brief, and to bring what I needed to say in a succinct manner. So in work, it was fantastic. As well as on the tennis court, my coach talked about a great performance review would be playing in a tennis match, whether or not I won or lost was a really good performance review. So when I lost, she could pretty much tell me you didn't hit your forehand down the line enough, or you didn't hit your backhand, you didn't give enough topspin to win the match. So having those coaches who give you that feedback is an absolute must-have in your formula for success.
Thanks. And in terms of relationship and manifesting your dreams, we were talking about this earlier, and it's really funny. Heidi said, if you get asked on a second date, that's a good performance review. If you don't get asked on a second date, that's another performance review in one way or another. So if you sort of look at the status of your relationships and sort of take the temperature of your relationships, you can give yourself a performance review. If you want support in your relationships, you can ask other women to help you to see where you shine and where you might need some support. And it's such a gift, like Heidi was saying, in terms of at work or in academics, when someone is supporting you and has the courage to tell you what works and what doesn't. It allows you to move forward. So I think one of the things that was most difficult for me on this journey was surrendering to other women and trusting them to guide me. And when I was willing to trust their performance reviews and really take them to heart is when I was really able to move forward toward meeting my husband and living my dreams.
Great suggestion. I think in that particular example, it's like, don't do life alone. It's really partner with somebody. There are people out there who absolutely want to help you. Who knew?
Yeah.
And no matter what aspect.
And they want to get where you want to go too.
Exactly. So grab hold of that hand that's available to you and don't do life alone. This next one is a huge one. It's risk and reward. And it in the corporate world, as well as academics and as well as playing sports, especially for me in the corporate world, I was fearless. There were risks I was willing to take, and certain risks included asking my bosses if I could ask their bosses and the bosses above them for help. I would say to my boss, may I have your boss be my mentor? And they'd, of course, get permission. But asking for help from senior executives to say, how did you move up the ladder, was a risk, because I may have hurt my boss's feelings, but he said, no worries. He said, if you want guidance from the CEO or CFO, by all means. And the risk was banging on their door at lunchtime and saying, could I ask you for some help? And most of the time they said, of course. So it's getting out of your comfort zone, being fearless. And what started to happen was those people in the higher ranks started to know who I was. So the rewards became really wonderful because I started to get promotions, I started to get stock options, I started to get bonuses. So be fearless, take risks in whatever you're trying to pursue.
Yeah, that's great. And in the area of love and relationship, the way this translates over, one of the things that we like to say all the time is do one thing every day that scares you. Take risks in the area of relationship. And as Heidi was talking about going to the CEOs or CFOs, going above the boss, look for the women in your community that are almost intimidating to you in terms of their success. Who's the happiest? Who's the most joyful? Who has the healthiest relationship? Who has the most beautiful spirit? And go to her and ask her for support. Don't settle. Go to the top because you deserve it. The things that you are dreaming about are things that you can have, but you have to have the right teachers and you have to take the risk. And another thing that we talk about at Love Notes is the idea of life as a pendulum, and that to the degree that we are willing to swing on that pendulum is equal to the degree that we're going to get rewards. So if you take little risks, you'll get little rewards. And the bigger the risk you take, the bigger the rewards you'll receive. So look around in your community for those women who have what you want, those people who have what you want, and take that risk like Heidi did at work, like I'm sure you've done at work. Take that risk to ask someone who has what you want to teach you how to have it yourself.
Great one, Trish. And the next point was putting in your time. And here, anything you want to do, guess what? It does take time. It's not going to happen magically. Different people would say, how did you achieve your success in your corporate world? Or how did you achieve your success on the tennis court? Well, it took a tremendous amount of commitment, time, devotion, and it didn't happen magically, which a lot of people think it should just like a snap your fingers and it's going to happen. But you have to put in your time. Nothing happens without commitment to time.
So when you think about how much time you actually spend at work each day, how much time you put into fitness or health, how much time you put into getting an academic degree, whether it was high school, college, a master's degree, or a doctorate, all those things took time, an investment in time. And I think, as Heidi was saying, a lot of times in relationship, women think that their relationships are going to happen magically, that somebody, some fairy godmother somewhere is going to wave a magic wand and we're going to have, magically have the life, the love and life of our dreams. And really, it doesn't happen that way. You have to put effort and time into finding and creating the life and love that you want. So however you're spending your time now, if you want to manifest love and dreams, you're going to have to make time for it and commit to it. Commit to it as wholeheartedly as you have to your career and your academic pursuits.
Great. And lastly, structure and discipline in the corporate world, we followed something very simple: plan, do, check, act. It was we had this PDCA structure. So my boss would say, all I need you to do, we created a plan. We then executed that plan. We checked to see if the plan was working well, and if it was, great. If it wasn't, we needed to incorporate a new action. So having structure in place will help you excel in no matter what you decide to do in life. But having that clear plan, starting to commit to those action steps, but monitoring them to make sure you're staying the course, and having that monitoring system in place will allow you to have success not only in the corporate world, academics, but as Trisha's going to share, how it will give you success in the area of love.
Yeah, in the area of love and dreams, really it's the same as Heidi said. If you look at your work or academics or any other area of your life and look at what that structure is that you used for success, you could very likely use it for your success in relationship and in pursuing your dreams. Anything that works for you, we like to say around here the dreaded D word, discipline, which most women aren't in love with. And to take on some disciplines, whatever they are. If you're single, to get on online dating, to go to singles events, to have partnerships with other women where you go out and do these things on a regular, disciplined schedule. To, if you're married, to make sure you have date nights, to make sure you're spicing up your love life, to make sure you're enjoying the company of your partner. And to use the word discipline around that may not sound like the two go together, but they do. Having a discipline around a date night can change a relationship.
Fantastic. So those points that Trisha just shared, especially in the area of love, take them on. They may sound right now a little bit overwhelming. Start with one baby step, because sometimes when you hear the structure, you receive a formula, you tend to say, I don't know how I'm going to start, but just start, because you must make this a job. In the past, the pursuit of true and lasting love, creating healthy families and communities, and manifesting dreams was a job. There were mentors and masters and life classes held daily in women's lives. There were clear paths to becoming experts in life, romance, and manifesting dreams. But today, not so much. Many women have traded in their priceless expertise in these areas for jobs with better salaries. And I am one of those women, but I'm learning to do things differently, thanks to you.
And it's certainly understandable that women have traded in the jobs of being wives and mothers and passing on the wisdom of love for jobs with better salaries. But really, if we don't save that wisdom, we face a world without their guidance. And when you look at the divorce rate these days, better than 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So it's up to each and every one of us to preserve whatever we can and encourage other women to do the same, to share their gifts around manifesting dreams and finding lasting love.
And the women in our communities, they always tell us that they wish they had had this information decades ago. We wish we did too. They also ask us how to begin to bring this wisdom to their daughters. On our website, we offer ideas for how to share each of our topics with girls and young women.
So we promised you homework and challenges. So here you go. Your homework is to get out that journal or laptop and write about how you yourself have achieved success in work, academics, sports, or any other area where you have taken on an endeavor and achieved success. And then translate that action plan into an action plan for achieving success in love and the pursuit of your dreams. A list for the action plan that we discussed today can be found on our website under Love Notes TV in the menu. The second part of your homework is don't do this alone. Find other women who want to join you on the journey and commit to partnering with them. Make an action plan with one another and have buy-when dates. Decide, commit, succeed. Go team. Again, the key to manifesting your dreams is staying in action, not quitting on yourself, and being accountable to yourself and other women. We hope that you will practice placing daily attention on your dreams and then watching the miracles unfold. And by the way, they will. Miracles will occur. And when they do, please let us know.
So to our audience members, if you like what you heard on our show today and you're interested in being more actively involved with our ever-growing worldwide community of women, please visit our website at BeMoreYou.co and look for Love Notes TV in the menu. And make sure to scroll all the way to the bottom where you'll find the homework for each episode. Extra credit for those of you who are on fire or you overachievers like I am. And there's going to be all sorts of more information that you can grab hold of on the website too. Remember, this show is for you. If you have questions that you would like us to answer or topics that you would like us to address, please email us at bemoreyou@live.com. We receive many questions each week from women. We thank you for reaching out to us, and we want you to know that we will do our best to answer them on all of our upcoming shows. Because most women's questions are all women's questions, we will answer all questions anonymously without names or identifying details.
So if you're a man watching this program, we hope that you have been inspired. If you have questions about relationship, please email us as well, and we'll do our best to answer them. And if there are women in your life who you think would benefit from our program, please let them know about us.
It's time for our closing reading and dream cards, and to remind you that finding true love and living your dreams is never a selfish pursuit. One of our favorite readings is called The Search for Contentment, and it goes like this. The search for contentment is not merely a self-preserving and self-benefiting act, but also a generous gift to the world. Clearing out all of your misery gets you out of the way. You cease being an obstacle not only to yourself, but to anyone else. Only then are you free to serve and enjoy others. From Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Eat, Pray, Love. From Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Eat, Pray, Love. We love these little dream cards. They are like little gifts of inspiration. Here are the ones we opened this morning. And Tricia has
So we're going to read these for you, share our little dream cards with you so you can share them with us. So mine says dream on the outside, and on the inside it says, people are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. And that's by Beth Bingham.
Fantastic. And mine says dream on the front and nothing is impossible on the back, which I love. And mine says in dreams and in love, there are no impossibilities. And that is by Janos Arani.
So thanks for being here, everyone, for having the courage that it takes to follow your heart and pursue your dreams. We'll see you next time, and remember, you are uniquely beautiful. There is no one else on earth like you. Until we meet again, allow yourself to be gorgeous.
Production support provided by Medfield.tv. Access to our community.